What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta be real with you guys. I think there is a decent amount of people out there who are concerned about, I would say, the longevity of Splitgate 2 and how it will be able to go ahead and thrive and continue to bring players in, so on and so forth. A lot of people think it's going to die. Even if Splitgate 2 reaches the worst case scenario type spot. Personally, there is one thing within Splitgate 2 that I believe will help it tug along no matter what. Even if people get tired of all the competitive sweats and, the competitive nature of the game, so on and so forth, I promise you, what I'm about to showcase to you guys today is exactly why this game will be able to flourish and keep a very hardcore community intact. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we go and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content just like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 Money Eastern Time. And of course, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Today, of course, we'll be playing some Splitgate 2. And if you guys want to hop into the open lobbies that we host, I do that all the time. So by all means, you can find a link to that channel down in the description of this video. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, as you can see in the background footage here, we have been playing a lot of the lab. During my streams especially, usually like in I would say the final 2-hour segments of the stream, we open up to 24 players. And we go to absolute town with all of the maps that, are offered to us within the lab section of this game. And I gotta be real with you guys, I genuinely believe that the lab will single-handedly push this game, for casuals at least, and keep people interested across the board no matter what platform you are on, console, PC. It genuinely does not matter. The lab is so much stupid fun. Now, don't get me wrong. The 4v4 experience within Splitgate 2 is probably my bread and butter, and I think it's a lot of your guys' bread and butter as well. And I also love Onslaught. But, man oh man, the fun that could be had in the lab and the potential in the future for the lab is absolutely mind-boggling. Because, as you can see, we are already seeing creations just like this, which are just insanity. And we're only, a couple of weeks into, Splitgate 2's official launch, and they already confirmed that, years down the road, they're going to continuously add, perfect, and to make sure that the lab turns out to be one of the best editors on the market. I mean, first and foremost here, guys, look at this one right here. This is by Splitgate 2. They actually showcased this, and we played this a long time ago as well, and it was absolutely dope. But Splitgate is insane. Basically, it's a drifting map, man. We already know that the movement in this game is absolutely absurd when it comes to sliding. But they put together a whole map based around the sliding mechanic, which is tons of fun. And again, this is just the start, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? I know people are going to say, oh, this looks so... Who cares? This is the potential that we have with the lab. And as I stated, the months go by and the years go by and the developers are able to enhance the lab and give the creators more potential, more possibilities. I'm telling you, we're going to be seeing this times 10 on a regular day basis. Even another one here by Mad Dog Mueller saying a primitive concept for a parkour style game mode. Oh my goodness, guys. A lot of people are asking for races and stuff of that sort to go ahead and return into Splitgate 2, which you never know. The Splitgate team might make it official and do their own thing in the future. But you can already see that people are forming concepts, and it's so much freaking fun. All of these ideas. And again, it's going to be a little rough, to load up this map and expect someone who randomly saw it in the server browser to understand how to play it. Yeah, nobody's going to be able to do that without watching the footage first and then saying, oh, now let me go ahead and give it a shot. But as I stated, these are all beginning concepts. And as these creators get more tools and also as they just continue to flourish out these maps, they're going to become smoother, better. And honestly, anybody out there, no matter what cravings there are when it comes to Splitgate 2, they'll be able to have specific game modes and game types set up for them within the lab to give them some entertainment, even if you don't want to sweat it out, right? A lot of these game modes allow you to hop on and just simply enjoy the game. If you enjoy the movement, but you don't want to sweat, game modes like this are going to be perfect for you. You can slide around and try to navigate and get faster and, just enjoy yourself without having to worry about gunplay at the moment. And if you are in the mood for Splitgate 2 gunplay, there's so many maps at your fingertips to play on. If you're bored of the 4v4 content, or if you're bored of the 8v8v8 content, or even if it's later down the road and people just want more content, and the developers are doing something different, and they just don't have time to push anything into the game, there is so much for us to play right now. It's insane. I've seen so many outstanding maps, and we've also seen tons of remasters from things like Halo, even Call of Duty. I can't tell you how many Call of Duty maps I've played on already. Personally, I only expected to play on Nuketown and Shipment, But there's so many others. Vacant, high rise. I hear raids being cooked up. I mean, my good, like I said, it's endless. I even played on standoff. I played on standoff, guys, and they're fun. That is the mind-boggling part. They're actually fun to play on. I've even seen some individuals out there trying to cook up a bunch of the X-Defiant maps and put them into Splitgate 2, which will be even better. Obviously, it's not going to be, the same hype as the original X-Defiant, but to be able to see them relived in the moment on Splitgate 2 is going to be so much fun. The potential is absolutely endless, ladies and gentlemen. No matter what you're freaking craving, you can do it in the lab. And you can even go down to the settings and, redefine what the game is going to feel like, how it's going to flow, movement speeds, health, speeds, whatever. You can customize it to your personal satisfaction. And you can have as many people as you want. As I stated, these lobbies go up to 24 players, ladies and gentlemen. You could pack it up and do an 8v8v8. You can pack it up and do a full, 2-team 24-player battle. You can pack it up and do a 24-player free-for-all for all you care. You can do anything you want. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys exactly what I think the coolest part about all this stuff is. The fact that it goes into a server browser. Now, of course, if you don't want anybody to join, you can, open up a party in the lab. Well, not in the lab, not the lab creator, but, custom matches and making your own, game modes while playing on the maps from the lab. You can make it private and only play with friends, but if you want to, you can make it public. Now, of course, there's going to be a code that you can share with buddies, or even people like me who go ahead and stream Splitgate 2 all the time and host open lobbies on these customs. You could just simply look at the screen, see the code, and hop right on in. But if you choose to do public, once that lobby goes live, everybody in the world can go on the server browser and see games that are currently public that you can go ahead and have access to. I have played with so many individuals that I just simply don't know, but it's so much fun because it gives a sense of community. You meet so many different people, and you get to enjoy all the maps that they have to offer within the lab. I can't even count the amount of times I started up a lobby with like 6, 7, maybe 8 people, and the lobby was open to 24. And then out of nowhere, a massive rush of random people just come pouring on in, and it instantly goes up to 24 people. And then we have these massive battles going on all these cool maps. As I stated before, the sense of community is so strong within this section, and I absolutely love, that you can host a server and have it public for everybody out there to go ahead and have access to. It makes these maps feel more open, you know what I'm saying? Because if you can only host private matches with these maps, I feel like they wouldn't be as poppin', right? And again, for people like me who stream, as I stated before, yeah, I can do private matches and get them filled all the time, and we can have fun. But for your average person out there who's loading up their console or something like that, who just wants to hop on for a few matches, they're not going to have a group of people like that all the time that they could just pile on into, a private match. So the fact that they can just go ahead and make a custom, open it up, and have a bunch of people pour on in and just have fun with everybody out there, that is such an awesome thing. And you don't see that with many games nowadays. I don't know why, but you don't. But I'm so happy that the Splitgate 2 devs went ahead and introduced this. And even better, the Splitgate 2 devs already came out and said that sometime in the future, they will have public playlists where they'll take the, top picked maps or some of the best maps in the rotation and actually put them in a live playlist so you can grind out more maps, more content, and still get XP and progression. Because obviously, if you're sitting in, custom games all day long, you're not leveling up anything. And someone who comes into the game fresh that still needs to get weapons, attachments, so on and so forth, it's not going to be fun hopping into a private match with no equipment. One thing I would go ahead and request, though, again, I don't know if this is already in the settings, but I would love to see, just the ability to use whatever attachments you want. If you come into custom matches, doesn't matter what you get. You can use all the attachments, all the perks, all the equipment. I think that would make it a lot more enjoyable because, like I said, new people coming in, they're kind of pushing away from that section of the game, which is, that's fine. They can play pub matches if they want. But I still think it would be cool if people could just test stuff out and play around with whatever they feel like inside their classes. They can already use all the power weapons and stuff like that, but I'm not sure if you can open up classes to be able to use whatever, depending on your, your level within the game. And 2, I do have one last other thing that I would love to see from this section of the game. A way to regenerate your code without having to actually leave the lobby. I don't know if this is a possibility. It probably isn't a possibility, but personally, when, cheaters are starting to lurk around the custom games, they can memorize that code. So if you're just going ahead and having a public code for anybody to hop in, you can't regenerate that. And sometimes it sucks. You don't want to close out the lobby, because if you close out the lobby, all the new people that you just met are going to be harder to, meet, so on and so forth, unless you go ahead and add each and every one of them and then reopen up the game. It'll just be so much simpler to just say, okay, you know what? A cheater's stalking our game, nothing we can do. Even if we hide, the actual code itself, probably just go ahead and screenshot it and they can hop right back in. But if you can hide the password, regenerate it while you keep the same lobby and the same people already in the game and just kick the cheater, then they're screwed and they can't get back into the experience. But again, I don't know if that's even possible. You might just have to go ahead and get a brand new code by starting a new lobby. It might just be no other way around it. But again, I just wanted to give a couple of bits of criticism here, just so it's not all positivity and people are just going to be having a meltdown saying, oh, it's just so positive about the game, I can't handle this, so on and so forth. There you go, man. You have some negativity. But overall, this is hands down, for me at least personally, my favorite section of Splitgate 2. I love everything about this game. 4v4, 8v8, 8v8, shoot, I've actually even been having a good time with the BR. But there's just something so community-driven and special about the custom matches in this game. And like I said, having the ability to open up a server and playing all these maps with everybody in the world is just, it's awesome. I don't know of any other ways to put it. It is just genuinely awesome. And I cannot thank the devs enough for, giving us this freedom to be able to mess around with all of this content and allowing all the extremely creative players within this community. Shout out to all the map makers, guys. Seriously, this whole video has just been me preaching to, the Splitgate 2 devs for giving us these features. But seriously, we need to give a shout out to all the people out there who make maps and, who put in the work and effort to give us the extra content. So if we do get bored of, the general content in the game, there is just a never-ending amount of it on the lab section of this game. Shout out to all of you guys. You guys are creative as ever, and I cannot wait to see what you all will make as time goes on and the years start passing by. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. And of course, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested, got a link to the channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.